But a lot of times that comes from the people that are in our lives that are creating that shame as well. So there's that self shame and that external shame. And I just feel like saying to uncouple shame and self worth for whatever reason, that stick in that self worth bucket about what you offer when it comes to love and vibration and helping others. Always help yourself first. And I don't mean that from a selfish place. I mean that from a self-love place, that you really sit and anchor in the vibration that you're bringing. Now, I know if you're at a low point, then it's really hard to feel that, that bright light within you. I get that. In general, I'm struggling with feeling like I'm not enough or that I have to prove my worth. How can I release shame and step into true self-worth? For me, what's coming is shame and self-worth. Even though I know they're connected, I'm seeing them as different. I'm seeing shame as let me go to self-worth. Self-worth is what feels like is coming forward about this is that it is your worth in the weight of love. Okay, just bear with me. Your worth in the weight of vibration and frequency that you bring is where you want to focus. That's your worth. When you don't feel self-worth, it's because you're allowing the external environment to tell you that you need to be or do or say something different. And while sometimes that may be true, and there may be really good reflections that are telling you like, hey, pay attention, ding, 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 over here, there's a lot of times when that's just, again, bringing forward fears, bringing societal thought constructs forward to challenge you on your self-worth. So the shame part, I feel like, comes from, again, this comparison, whether it's a comparison you're making to someone else or something else. I should be there, or I'm not good enough because I have not. But a lot of times that comes from the people that are in our lives that are creating that shame as well. So there's that self shame and that external shame. And I just feel like saying to uncouple shame and self worth for whatever reason, that stick in that self worth bucket about what you offer when it comes to love and vibration and helping others. Always help yourself first. And I don't mean that from a selfish place. I mean that from a self-love place, that you really sit and anchor in the vibration that you're bringing. Now, I know if you're at a low point, then it's really hard to feel that, that bright light within you. I get that. But it's almost like the shame is like that voice, that little devilish voice on your shoulder that's saying all the things that you're doing wrong, which is more judgment, versus that cheerleader voice that's saying, keep going, keep going, keep going. And following this one, which is all about all the goodness that you are, all the wonderful things that you are. And one exercise that's really helpful for this is each morning, just plan. If you can plan 30 minutes, if you can plan an hour, great. But let's just say you plan 30 minutes, or you back it up and just say, all I got is 5. All I can do is 5. 5 is great too. Get a journal or a notebook and get a pen or pencil and just write one thing that you love about yourself, like one thing that you did that you felt contributed to your happiness or the happiness of others around you. Because there's going to be a lot of things. And if there aren't a lot of things, don't judge. Don't judge yourself. Don't be like, oh, I didn't get anything. Because I think you did. You just didn't see it. And that's the point of the exercise, is just taking a moment to say, oh, gosh, well, I tipped that guy a little extra. Or, I said hello to a homeless person on the street, which would have been scary. But I decided that I was just going to actually look at them and say hello. Those are acts of kindness that you shine your light out into the world and bring value and worth to others around you, that also brings value and worth to yourself because you felt connected to that person momentarily. So the more connection points you can have, the better. Other thing that's coming is, if you're out and about, let's say you're getting a coffee, that you make an extra effort appropriately to make eye contact with the person and smile. And if you can't tip extra, that's fine too. Don't tip extra, but just give them the energetic deposit, because when we give the energetic deposit to someone, we get it back. It's not always a one-to-one. Sometimes we get some weird response and it triggers people to be nice to them. So it's not about like, I'm going to do this with the expectation that I'm going to get something back. No, it's not like that. It's like, I'm going to do this. It's kind of that idea of pay it forward, I guess. I'm going to do this out of just kindness, just because I want to experience my own kindness. I want to feel what I have to offer and give to people. I think you'll find that you could start switching the energy really quickly. But the next thing you do is, at the end of the week, go back and look. And maybe you missed a couple of days, so write a few extra on the last day of the week. And start to see like all the little tiny little acts of kindness that actually made a big difference. The butterfly effect. We don't need to know exactly what a difference it makes, but we know that we did something that made a difference. It doesn't cost anything to smile. It doesn't cost anything to look somebody in the eye. It doesn't cost anything to hug somebody a little bit longer. All these little things that can just really be helpful for them, but also for you. Hopefully that'll get you past any ideas of shame and into seeing more about the beauty of which you bring to the world. Now, I'm not discounting, because I don't know specifically, because you didn't mention what you're feeling shame about, but we can certainly talk more about that if you want to give me more information for next week's show, or reach out and we could do a one-on-one. But I get shame. Shame is a tough emotion to overcome. But again, the more attention we give to that versus anchoring into that self-worth aspect of ourselves and seeing all these little acts of kindness and of course gratitude that we feel as a result, is where our focus should go. I always appreciate every week, 11:11 on Sunday Pacific time, that you're here with me live. And if you're watching on replay, I love that too, because it's still the same. You can write questions in the comments and I'll be sure to ask and answer them in next week's show. If you want more support, you want to dive deeper into something that's going on in your life, please go over to bethbell.me and check out how we can work together. I put a lot of stuff in the description below as well. There's also the Awakening and Healing Handbook. It's an ebook. It's just jam-packed with great tips, tools, techniques, and methodologies to help you through some of these really challenging times. And there's also the Herpes Handbook, which is jam-packed with some good information as well, and the Psychedelics Resource Guide, and many other things. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please write in the comments if you've enjoyed the show, if you've enjoyed any of the questions, if they resonate with you, if you have something new that you want to talk about. All right, until next week, I'm wishing you much bliss and love on the journey. Namaste.